All right, joined now by Andy Gresh. The win gets the Pats to 4-2 on the year, but are you more encouraged about their play after today, or you still have your reservations about this team?
You know, the first half I was sitting at home going, oh my God, like what is this? Who's this team? And then in the second half, we started to see them put things together. End of that second quarter, get the interception, drive down the field, score a touchdown. That's championship football. That's what we're used to seeing. And I'm okay with the way today went. I thought defensively, they continue to get a little bit better. I know not having Stephon Gilmore in there, people are going to make a lot of that. The secondary really calmed down after that first quarter. And again, when they needed pass rush, they were able to generate pass rush late in that game, but it's just not consistent. And that's the thing. I don't know whether to look at it, Yanni, and say, wow, when they needed it, they had it, or to say, why don't they have that all the time? I'm still kind of betwixt and between with this group.
Yeah. All right, the big controversy obviously was Austin Seferian-Jenkins' play at the goal line. Based on the rule, it's kind of like the old Tuck rule. It's the right rule, but it still seems like they got jobbed.
That's one of those deals where you said it. You can hate the rule, but the ruling was right. And there was no way once that ball came out of his hands that he was going to be able to gather it, maintain possession before his body hit the ground out of bounds. So I know there were a lot of people who were like, hey, he got hosed. To the letter of the rule, it's right. I honestly thought he did score a touchdown. And then when they started to break it down frame by frame like the Zapruder film, you could see that he just didn't have a second possession of that football. So it was the right call. You can say it feels slimy or whatnot. You know, there was also a phony, on a field goal attempt at the end of a game, a phony penalty called there against the Patriots a couple years ago. So what goes around comes around. It happens.
Tom Brady, I thought, was just average. He had 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, just over 50% completion. Do you think his left shoulder had a part to do with that?
No, I don't. I think the fact that they didn't stick with the running game, they couldn't work play action when they wanted to, and in the first half, the offensive line was inconsistent. I didn't see anything out of Brady's left shoulder that made me say, oh my God. He never turtled. He never protected himself. He never, whenever someone was closing in on him, you never saw him try to turn or protect the shoulder. So I don't think it was an issue at all. And Yanni, they would run it, and then they would have one play where it wasn't great, and then they'd go away from it. They were running with Gillislee, then all of a sudden there's split backs in the game, and you're like, where the hell did this come from? I wish they would stick with it because that would help Brady and make them more effective in play action, but they ran it enough, and one of my keys, as you know, on New England Nation was win the running game. They did that. They stopped the Jets' run, and the Patriots ran it for about 120 yards.
I'm going to steal this point from Don Darrow. He tweeted this out. Are you worried about the Patriots closing games out on offense? All the great teams we've seen over the year, they give you that 12-play, 80-yard drive to make it a 2-score game. And in Tampa and in today, they didn't do that.
Yeah, I think that's an evolution still to come in this offense. That's also the byproduct of not having Edelman. I think that's where his lack of presence really shows up. Because, you know, we saw like Hogan got hit in the ribs today, went out of the game a little bit. I didn't think he was really very much the same after that. You know, and everybody's going to pay attention to Gronkowski. The other tight end is completely useless in this offense, regardless of who it is right now. So their options are limited, and I think it's going to be tougher for them to close out those games on offense unless they run the ball because they don't have as many options on the outside. But I don't think they're ever going to see it that way, Yanni. This has been a bitch of mine for 15 years. They just won't stick with it. They won't commit to it because they've got Tom Brady, and it's easier to play with him, the shiny toy in the toy box.
There you go. Just getting started with Andy Gresh. He'll be back in just a bit. We'll have much more from the sports wrap, including the Patriots wrap, including the rest of the day in NFL, coming up right after this.